NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI, where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI, where my people at.
Oh man, we all made it. A beautiful Wednesday. Welcome back. Nate Ivy in the air chair. Back from my hiatus. Politicking on the latest. If you would like to transform your brain waves into digital talk radio waves this morning, 513-873-7134. Good morning to the new America and beyond. On today's show, I want to talk about numerous things. Current events, of course. Local issues, of course. But also I want to talk about three things to keep your eyes open for, perhaps to look for in 2020. Men don't have to be in bad relationships. No man should have to stay in a bad marriage or a bad relationship, even if you have kids. And repeat after me, Santa Claus is not real, damn it. Stop playing games. Stop playing games with this Santa Claus character. I don't know this man. Everything that my children may receive, my wife and I work for it. I would never give some mythical character the credit that my wife and I deserve. And it's also a part of the cultural plot to make everything seem as if white folks are benevolent and will come through your chimney and bring you very expensive gifts, which we know that shit don't really happen in real life. So stop playing with me. Stop playing with me with the Santa Claus thing, man. I'm too old for this. The number one gift you can give your grandkids or your children and nieces and nephews is to tell them the truth about this myth. We ain't playing no games out here. No games. No games. And of course, there are a smattering of other things that we must discuss. Speaking of Santa Claus, there was a teacher who is now using Santa Claus in his defense. And it's kind of crazy. What? Man says he did nothing more than Santa does. Huh? That could be very troubling. It can be very, very troubling. We'll get into the details. It is a beautiful, but it may be a little bit cold outside. Just a little bit. It's a little bit cold. It's yes, you're going to have to bundle up. You need the gloves, the scarf, the hat. You need all that this morning. But when you step outside your door, if you haven't already done so, just take a nice big breath. Just take it all in and say, I'm good. It is beautiful to be alive. It is beautiful to be alive. Good morning. And as always, my pleasure to be with you. I've set the table a bit. You can also join the Choppers. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to my Spreaker page, Nathan Ivey Show, IVEY, if you haven't already done so. And you can join the conversation in that way. And also 3 things to look out for 2020, including the Splinter Net. You ever heard of that? What the fuck? What? The Splinter Net? This black man's making up stuff on the internet. No, it's real. It's called it could be called the Splinter Net. I'll give you all the details. Sit tight, folks. Sit tight. I got this. Sit tight. If you would like to share things in real time, you can join the Chop Shop to do so, and you can post links and add to the conversation. You can also join the Facebook page, Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show, and we get together in there, and that's a place where people will where they will post links, and a lot of it becomes fodder or talking pieces or points of conversation for the show, and that's exactly the way I like it. You know, I want this show to be very interactive. And if you have suggestions for guests, which I got a few yesterday, I've already begun working on, especially local guests. It really doesn't really matter, but local guests or national guests, let me know. Post a link. I'll do the legwork. Post a link and I will do the legwork. Let's do it. I'm reading that Dan Hills has bowed out of the Hamilton County race. Quote unquote, leaving Republicans embarrassed. At least that's what one local columnist has written. Everybody's favorite white male paranoid FOP police president. Right? Everybody's favorite. He has bowed out of the Hamilton County commissioner's race, which, as I understand, do they have a candidate now? The Republicans don't have a candidate. What in the hell? And I don't know. I don't know if Dan Hills would have been a strong candidate or not. I really don't know. Quote, I recognize that I could not give the campaign the effort it would require while still performing my duties as FOP president. My first priority is and will remain the members of my union. So he said he just didn't have enough time to do both. I mean, he didn't weigh this and think about this beforehand. Come on, Dan. Quote, we are disappointed in this development because we were assured that Dan Hills was committed to this race. That's from Hamilton County GOP Chairman Alex Triantafulu. Triantafulu. Yes, Triantafulu. I don't think it's a fee. It's a foo. We are working to find the right candidate to defeat her, and I am confident that person exists. By her, he's speaking of incumbent white female Democrat Denise Driehaus. Quote, she does not, or he says that Driehaus, quote unquote, does not deserve re-election. Really? Driehaus doesn't deserve re-election? Really? That's the first time I've heard that. Why wouldn't she deserve re-election? The filing deadline is December the 18th, so they've got 7 days. So between now and a week from today, which is next Wednesday, the Republicans may have another candidate. Has anybody heard anything as to who that candidate might be? Does this say anything about Dan Hills in particular, this wishy-washiness? I mean, you didn't think about this? It appears that Alex Triantafulu is a little bit like, hey, we were assured. We were assured that he would do this. I don't know. Did Denise Driehaus just dodge a bullet? Do you think that Dan Hills would have been a strong candidate? I don't think he's got a high favorability markings in the black community. He's a Trump lover, which, you know, with some black folks, they write you off. Some folks in general, but some black folks will just write you off right there. They're done with you right there. So now they're going to struggle. Nonetheless, here are some potential candidates the GOP could consider to run against Driehaus. Mary Hill from Woodlawn, Cheryl Sieve, Josh Girth, and Marcus Thompson, who ran unsuccessfully for Anderson Township trustee. Those are some of the names, none of which I readily recognize. Maybe you do. So there it is. So no Dan Hills. Dan Hills is no running. He's no running. Good. Good. Absolutely. What is this? Stop calling police on black people. Cree Janelle. I think, am I Facebook friends with her? Okay, I can rock that. Somebody posted that inside of the Chop Shop. I'm not the Chop Shop, but inside the friends page. Oh man, we bodybuilding out here? Okay. I see you. I'd rock that. Somebody, I guess this is like a local brand. Stop calling police on black people. It's kind of like a sweatshirt. I like it. I like it. Because, you know, white folks are at an all-time high in their arrogance. I got to deal with a situation right now at my daughter's school. Right now. It's like, damn. I always got to be the one. Why is it always me? I just bring it out in certain people, I guess. Must be me. But I'm just a dude to deal with it. Mike Bloomberg is widely unpopular following his campaign launch. Really? Let me guess why. Stop and frisk? Could it be that? Black folks ain't having it. We don't want to hear the excuses and we sorries. We just know better now. We had no idea that, you know, if we just gave an open door green light policy to stop anybody you want to, just because that black people, black males, will get caught up in it. Speaking of which, and I brought this up yesterday, I'll bring it up again. I think it's worthy of perhaps me bringing it up again at the very least, if not a conversation, is that in the law and public safety here in Cincinnati meeting most recently, what they found out is that the overwhelming majority of the citations for warnings about marijuana have been given to, guess who? Black people. But the chief swears that black people are not being targeted. Well, you got 69 citations, 67 of them are black folks. What's that tell you? It tells us what we already knew. That one of the various, and there are a lot of reasons as to why we need to decriminalize marijuana, and now we're moving into the legalization of it outright for almost all usages. But for years and years and years, those marijuana laws was used to lock up, guess who? Black and brown folks. That's right. Do I smell weed? Maybe. Because we were just smoking a blunt, listening to Dr. Dre. Can we get back to that? Oh, but no, it's illegal. So now we can search your car. Oh, we found more. What's this residue? And I like what they're doing. What is that over in Chicago? I love what they're doing in Chicago because they've now decided to use the legalization of marijuana to kind of balance the scales. We never talk about how much money. We talk about the incarceration of black bodies, but we never talk about how all that money, all that black wealth has been stolen from our communities legally, basically, with these citations, going to court costs, lawyer fees, you know what I'm saying? Fines. That adds up. That adds up big time. So nobody wants to hear Mike Bloomberg's excuses about how he didn't know that stopping Fricks was going to have such a bad. Nobody wants to hear that, B. Don't sit your ass down. We don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that because we don't believe you. You just didn't care, Mike. But because you're a billionaire, right, you feel like you can do whatever you want. You know what? I'm going to run for president. You got about $500 million to blow. Must be nice. It must be nice. It must be nice. So this is a story, of a friend of a friend. And the friend of my friend doesn't really listen to the show. So I don't think there's any way going to get back. And I'm not going to use any particular names, but, men talk. I have male friends. I have many male friends who've been married for many, many years. Many, many years. And men talk. And it came to my attention that, a friend of a friend has been in a long-term relationship that has been less than satisfying. But because there are kids involved, I guess he's caught from a different timber, right? A different cut of cloth or whatever they call, right? And he just feels responsible. So he's staying in a relationship primarily because of the kids. Have you ever known someone who was in a situation like that? And see, we never really talk about this. We never do. We in a second, we'll talk about these men, these no good rascals that left their kids and left their babies. And we should talk about these men. I get it. But we never talk about the men who stay in relationships for the children so they can be a male presence for the children because maybe perhaps they feel like the mother of the child isn't suitable to do it by themselves. So they make that sacrifice, a lifelong sacrifice, to be there for their children. We never talk about that. I mean, we've talked about that from the woman perspective, like, oh, she's dealing with abuse. Should a woman stay in a relationship? At some point, we all agreed, I guess it's a society, and Oprah Winfrey helped with this, was that, you shouldn't stay in a relationship just for the kids. Do you think you should stay in a relationship, long-term relationship? Okay, we'll call it a marriage, although in this case it is not, which makes it even more, head scratch worthy. But there are men out there who have that sense of duty. There are men out there, black men. This is a black man we're talking about. These are black men out there who have that sense of duty, have that sense of responsibility for their children, and they'll sacrifice. They will sacrifice for their children because they think it's best. And I think that's very admirable. Like, if you choose to do that in a relationship, it's cordial, great. But if you guys are arguing and bickering and going back and forth, I don't know, in 2019, I think it's probably best to get your own place, B. You know what I'm saying? So move out, get your own little spot, and you can create your little oasis for your kids here. And then when they're with their mother, then they can do whatever she wants to do. Because you really can't control another human being, whether you're married or not. You don't got no control over a human being. Wife, husband, what's that mean? If you're dealing with somebody that doesn't want to do it or doesn't know how to do it, how are you going to turn them around? I say, if you want to stay for the kids, that's admirable. I can respect it. As long as above the surface, the relationship is good and y'all getting along. If y'all arguing back and forth and every day is another new day of frustrations, it's best to probably leave. Kids, I don't know. I don't think kids need that kind of environment, but that's just me. I throw it out there. That's a real life story, as a matter of fact. Angela writes, salutations. Cincy Tigress writes, good morning. Cassandra writes, great risings, choppers. Good morning, everybody. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the choppers. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate and the choppers. Hold on, somebody out there. I gotta say what's up to Crystal. Thinking about you, Crystal. I know you're doing some things right now with your brother, and I saw what you posted on Facebook. And she is a chopper, and I just want to put that out there. Thinking about you since the last show. I saw some of the images that she had posted, and I got two brothers and myself, two younger brothers, two younger sisters. We're all kind of very close in age, and I can't even imagine. You know, you think about mom and dad and grandpa, we know what's going to happen with that. They're older than you and things like that, but I just can't imagine. So, thoughts and prayers and condolences to your family, Crystal. Just want to let you know that. Mason Muller writes, morning day in the choppers. Hashtag no vote, no opinion. Hashtag education is undefeated. Well, I agree with that on some levels, no vote, no opinion, but I've come to understand that, like, for instance, if you're a property owner, you're a taxpayer, you're a business owner, you're paying taxes to that whatever locale. I think that even if you don't vote, I think that affords you the right to let your voice be heard. So I've come to evolve on that a little bit. Ray writes, grand risings off, but I agree wholeheartedly with the overall sentiment. Pat writes, good morning. Mazone writes, good morning. Ray writes, no sound. Oh, that part of me, that was a little bit of a dead zone between the two tracks I was playing as the show started. My apologies. Malcolm, excellence. I love it. He writes, assalamu alaikum to all God's children. Peace, beloved. Okay, I love it. Same to you. Sharp writes a good morning. Brenda writes, happy Wednesday. CG Dubs in the house. I love that name. Is that already? Where did you get the Chocolate Girl Wonder from? Is that the name of a book or a TV show? If it's not, it should be. Starring some fabulous, hopefully African American, one of these British actors coming over here. Tracy writes, hi. Mason Mahler writes, wash your mouth out, Nate. You are part of the war on Christmas. Sincerely, the GOP. Ray writes, neither is the Easter Bunny. When my son was little, he said, how do bunnies lay eggs? That's hilarious. CG Dub writes, Nate, did you get your TV fixed or did you purchase a new one? I did not get it fixed, and I have not purchased a new one because, like I told you, I'm thrifty. So I'm not about to run out here. I'm not TV thirsty. I'm not that. It's really a work TV more than anything else. It's like a second monitor I use in my studio. But no, I haven't yet. And everybody told me and they was lampooning me and ridiculing me like, get your TV fixed. Negro, go buy another one with your cheap ass. That's what people said basically online. I'm like, damn, yo, I'm trying to be thrifty. I'm thinking about 65 and 75, man. I'm trying to be like Drop. I'm never going to get to where Drop is if I'm out here buying TVs every time I want a TV. I can't do that. I don't have it like that. I just don't have it like that. So I got to be super thrifty about it. And I did find a place where I'm going to get a used one. So I'm just being honest with you. I don't need a brand new one. I just need a monitor that does what I need to do. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Sister Iris. Good. How you doing?
I'm getting better every day. I needed to just call in because I have an early day, but I wanted to weigh in on several things. One, Dan Hills. Two, the marijuana warning violations that were issued, and then I want to send a warning to your listeners. One, let me just start with Dan Hills. I was hoping that Dan Hills would run against Denise Streethouse so he could step down as FOP. I think he's far more dangerous as the FOP president than he would be county commissioner if he could even win that race. So I want people to be very, very mindful about who he is and what he's currently saying now about who he is, because this is who I've been telling you all who he is. Dan Hills is no different than he was last year when he said that Iris Rowley had no a constitutional right to have freedom of speech, to protest, to stand up, to advocate on our behalf as it relates to policing in the city of Cincinnati. And what Dan Hills is essentially saying to black folks in the city of Cincinnati is that you have no rights. And if he is a strong Trump supporter, as I knew that he was, I've seen many photos with him with Trump, before he even announced that. He's saying that you don't have any rights. And you all meaning black people in the city of Cincinnati. So to me, it's far more dangerous because there are far more people who listen to him because he is the president of that union and he does that negotiating for their contract. Speaking of the contract, Nathan, that's the next thing that is extremely troubling. And I found it extremely hard to even talk about on the reversal of the decisions around the two officers. I get the black one and the use of the N-word, and we had this conversation. But again, Dan Hills was the person who went and found their brother, found that case, and brought him out when the white guy was busted on body-worn camera for his use of the N-word. Remember that? Remember how that story came out?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how the story came out. When the white guy said it at Brownstone to the sister that he was trying to arrest, when he said, "And you hit me," that was, I think, a year after the black guy had said it. That had not made my radar, your radar, the news radar. Nobody had filed a complaint. Nothing came out about that brother saying that. So it was under our radar. Who would have known that that situation had occurred and that the black guy had been disciplined? Who would have known that? Only people inside of the police department would have known that. So when the white guy got busted for saying it and the chief disciplined him based on the rules that had been written, and in the manner of which the white guy called the sister the N-word, that's how he was disciplined. Then the union goes and finds this guy and say, well, wait a minute. We got a black guy that says this. Now listen, people, it is not acceptable to be able to go to your job and call the people who pay for a service any derogatory or racial slur. Zero, period. So when it came out, I was livid because the policy, the administrative code, had been changed to allow the use of the N-word because people said, well, you know, if we pick up trash and we want to say it and we use it at home, has nothing to do with the expectation of service, the expectation of behavior, and the expectation of someone being able to take your life based on what they believe that you are. And so now we have two cases that have been reversed. And now we have two officers who are going to get back pay. And we're not having the appropriate conversation because people are setting us up to be able to accept this. I am so livid that I've not seen anything come out by way of the police chief. I'm standing up saying, I don't give a damn about what the arbitrator said. If you use that particular racial slur while on your job, I will discipline you to the greatest extent feasible. We will never, ever in our lifetime have this conversation about a racial slur called kike. You will never, ever have that because it is not acceptable. And we should not accept the lowest standard of service from people that we pay for. Do you all understand what this says? In the second decade of the 21st century, that people can use it. So what the policy says now is that, yeah, you can be disciplined, but we get to go through all these things. So for those of us who find that the word offensive, derogatory, racial, unacceptable, and ain't having that, it's going to be a problem if a police officer pulls people over and uses that term. You had Dan Hills go to court and argue for these officers, saying, well, black people use it, so they should be able to use this word. And we're sitting by acting as though this is okay, that it is acceptable because some people use it in their home. Yeah, well, some people call their mothers the B word. That don't mean you get to go to work and call your boss that. You just should have a certain level of respect on your job. We are a protected class, and that word is the worst word ever to be able to be used. But what I wanted to do, Nathan, is, I don't know if I sent you the actual data around the warnings. These are warnings, supposedly warnings. And I want you to hear me. I got a call from a news guy. Say, hey, Iris, what do you think about the citation warnings around marijuana since the ordinance was written? So the ordinance was written. The vice mayor asked that there be some studies or that there be some monitoring around the arrest and or citations issued around this ordinance. Well, that's backwards. And this is what happens when politics gets inside of policing. We have these very knee-jerk reactions for whatever reasons, and I don't know why this ordinance was written like this, and we have far too many entry points of bad behavior, as you see now. And if you look at the warning, so when I got the information from the news, not from the parties of the collaborative, which would be the city and or the police, so that we can begin to say, what's wrong with this data? Where did you stop these people? Were these pedestrians? Were these traffic stops? Were these students? Where were you? How they have it broken down, Nathan Ivy, into your choppers is by district and age and race. So the only thing that you can glean from this is that there's some racial profiling. Well, if we knew going into this that racial profiling exists, why wouldn't we, before we sign this piece of ordinance, sign this piece of legislation into law, do some studying, do some preparation, making sure that the police understood what the ordinance said and making sure that the citizenry understood what the ordinance said, and making sure more specifically that Black people understood. Because his ordinance only is in the confines of the city of Cincinnati. It has nothing to do with Gulf Manor, Norwood, Springfield Township, all of these other small towns that surround Cincinnati, that are in and surround Cincinnati. So if you come to Rochelle, my business is surrounded by 3 or 4 different municipalities. 5 police municipalities. So what's written for the city isn't written for Gulf Manor. So Gulf Manor doesn't give a damn about what the city of Cincinnati said. So you're putting people in danger. We don't know. What we don't know when we look at this data, Mr. Ivy, into the choppers, is how does this impact our children? We've been screaming for the past 4 years, we being the Black folks in the room with police. We need to understand what these numbers are. Why are children getting arrested? Who's arresting them? What's this for? We can't get a clear bead on the numbers. We don't see any numbers under 18 here, and you can't tell me that children are not being arrested, stopped, detained, given warnings and or citations around marijuana, because the national data says more youth under 18 are using it. So when you see things like this and you have an entity called the MAG, the City Managers Advisory Group on the Collaborative and the Refresh. And I'm calling to tell you, as one who's been at that table since the design of the MAG, we did not get these numbers to look at to say, what the hell is wrong? Why are you pumping this out? This is counterproductive to the CA. That ordinance was counterproductive to the collaborative agreement. So when people ask me, what is it about the collaborative is to help us all, not just the police and the community, but legislators too, to not write dumbass legislation like this, to put people in jeopardy, to cost people their jobs, to cost people the power of having their own children, housing, school, all of these things that we saw when Cecil Thomas wrote the ordinance. So why would we just have a knee-jerk response to whatever it is, whether we're trying to get votes or whether we're trying to get people to like us or whatever it is that people do to write dumbass ordinances like this that put people's lives in jeopardy? Now, here's your first wave of what you see as something that could put people's lives in jeopardy, more specifically Black people, and that's who I care about. There were a total of 67 warnings written, and 64 went to Black people. The age limit that got the most was between 18 and 25. That's a critical age, and this is a critical time.
Very young.
So very young. So what are we doing in response to this knee-jerk, in my opinion, ordinance? Because somebody wants something. This ordinance wasn't just written so folk can go smoke weed in the city of Cincinnati. No, that's not it. And so you saw and I watched the conversation in City Hall, as should everybody. And you watched it go back and forth. Now, Chief Isaac, while we have developed a very good working relationship, you may not be profiling, but the officers sure appear to be profiling Black people if it's based on this data.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can glean from this, Nathan. I can't glean anything else. I can't get anything else other than that.
What did he say?
Profiling is still occurring.
Hey, Iris, what did the chief say? How did he explain it?
His explanation was not sufficient enough for me. So let me do this for you, because we will be meeting tomorrow. The city managers advisory group will be meeting with the police chief, the city manager, and all the other people from the administration to explain exactly what happened. And I want to give him the opportunity to get better information, because what I heard yesterday was insufficient. It was unacceptable for me. I need to know what, when, how, why. I need to know why these people got a warning, as you say. I need to know what happened after that. I need to know where they were. I need to know what were they doing. Did they receive any other warning citations? Were they arrested? I need to know the entire report.
Yeah.
Don't just give me this bull crap that you just gave me a race breakdown, an age breakdown in the district, and that's it. That's unacceptable. I can't do anything with that data.
So what does this mean?
Will tell you that's not enough.
Can you explain to me? So what does this mean exactly? So by giving a citation, does that mean is that a paid fine, or is it kind of what does that mean exactly? They were given a citation.
So let me read to you exactly what the city manager sent out. And again, I didn't get it from the city manager. I got it from the news media. This was released November 18th, 2019. Patrick Dahoney, from Elliot Isaac to Patrick Dahoney. And this is Council Reform Report 2019-01197. And this is on October 910-23. It says warnings. Attached is a report which breaks down the number of 910, citation, -23 warning violations issued by Cincinnati police officers during the month of October 2019. A total of 67 warnings were issued with the 5 districts and Central Business section, respectively. The race and age range of those receiving warnings is also broken down. That's all it says.
Okay.
That's all it says. So these are saying ordinance violations, but then it says warnings. So I have no clue. I'm not going to answer your questions until my questions are answered, Nathan, because I have very specific questions in order to answer your questions. So
you'll be in the meeting tomorrow, right? This is the managers advisory group. And so it'll be the manager. So Milton Dahoney will be there? Not Milton Dahoney.
Our city manager,
yeah,
Patrick Duhaney.
Patrick Duhaney. I'm sorry, I went way back. Patrick Duhaney. He'll be. Is he actually in the room, or is it one of his assistants, or?
He is in the room, and the reason that this is critical for your listeners to understand the process of the CA, when all parties. When the federal oversight ended in 2008, all parties, meaning the Cincinnati Black United Front, the city of Cincinnati, the FOP, decided and determined, and there was a filing in federal court, it has a case number, that we would all continue to meet. And we would continue to meet by way of the city manager's office so that the politics would not influence policy. That it would be apolitical, meaning not one or the other, but in the middle. What's the best thing to do? What is fair? What has equity? What saves citizens money? What makes sure everybody has a seat at the table? How can everybody be present to design and develop policing strategies? What can community do? How do you inform communities about your strategy and what is going on? So in 2008, in Judge DeLotte's courtroom, I was there. We all decided that we would do that, and there was a filing. That came under the Cincinnati plan. Thus got you your refresh. That is what the collaborative refresh was built on. So when you hear people ignorantly say that the collaborative ended, that is wrong. Federal oversight ended. Fairness never ends. Equity never ends. Justice should never end. And just because we're Black people, we shouldn't have to go through this, Nathan. I shouldn't have to call you talking about fairness and equity in policing if that's what we actually have. But we don't. So we know that we still have to do these things. So the city manager, we formed the City Managers Advisory Group in 2008. That was filed in federal court. And we've been meeting every month since then, trying to make sure that this is what we got. I've never seen politics and policing as heavily as I do today. I can't stress that to you more. And that's where the danger infects policy right there. So when you have a policy like this that has not gone through the proper vetting, nobody came to you and said, well, what do you think about this? Nathan Ivy, what do you and the choppers think? We'll give you a week, give us your questions, give us your thoughts, because you have smart people that listen to your show. You're a smart guy. This is what community participation should be about. This is what that is. Let us talk to people, because you would have said, well, hey, Iris, well, what about young folks? This is clear young folks. And what about the other municipalities outside of the city? How do we communicate to them that the city of Cincinnati has this ordinance? Nathan, in my view, the proper way to have done this would have gone through the state so that everybody had the same rule at the same time. We don't have the same rules at the same time. You got one city trying to do something else, and you got all the other municipalities around them not recognizing that. That's very, very dangerous in my eyes. And I hear every day, people call me every day, I got a ticket for this, or I got a citation for that, I would stop for this, or can I do this and can I do that? There is not enough education going on around these ordinances when they are written, and then when they are signed, and then when they are put out to be so ordered. This is a shame. So here we are now at this juncture. And now we got to go backwards to ask, because I've still not seen the ordinance, because I'm sick of that. If you write something and you have a group of people whose sole job is to help you determine is this good or bad, and we can't even get the ordinance to see. Have you seen the ordinance? Have you seen the marijuana ordinance since it was passed?
I can't recall it. I don't know if maybe I came across it when I was doing some show prep or something. I don't know. I can't recall that, so I'll have to say no.
Well, if you have it, or any one of your choppers have it, can you please post it so we all can take a look at it, so we can understand exactly what it should be? I've requested that they bring it tomorrow so that we can see it. I don't want to have to do a public records request. I want to understand what's written in that so we can understand how to prep for it, how to prepare for it, how to actually train and talk to the peace officers about it, so that there is no ambiguity. Oh, well, I thought, this or this or that. And you hear citizens confused about the ordinance every single day. So there needs to be a lot of more conversation around this, but there needs to be more conversation around what's actually going on with the refresh. Are we implementing any of the recommendations from Saul Green and his team? What in the hell is going on there? And also, in my opinion, and this is my very small, humbled opinion, and I'm extremely upset about this because I see us going down the wrong road as it relates to the use of the N-word. I don't care about what you do at home. I care about when my tax dollar pays a salary for an individual, that they act appropriately. You cannot call me that. Don't call my spouse that. Don't call my children that. Don't call my people that. So we need to, we need to get out of our feelings about what we personally do and look at this bigger picture about where we're going in the city of Cincinnati. And with that, that's all I got, Nathan. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. It's too long to text and too long to put in the chop shop. So I just wanted to let everybody know that's where we are. And if I get my hands on the ordinance and or any additional data or information around the warnings or citations or whatever they are, because there's some ambiguity there, I will let you know immediately to share with the choppers.
All right.
With that, Mr. Ivy, thank you for letting me get that off this morning. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate taking us inside the room. And we got her thoughts, everything on Dan Hill. She says she wishes he would ran. She if I get it out, she wishes that he would have ran and left his position as the FOP president. She said he can do more damage there. And we got her thoughts on the marijuana ordinance and some of the preliminary information, not even preliminary, some of the early information coming out. I agree with her. There are a lot of questions. I like to know where there were the circumstances in which they got the citations. I think that matters. I think we need more documentation. And to understand as to what's really going on. Chief Elliot Isaac says, no, we're not biased. He says the police force is not targeting African Americans. But then you get these numbers requested by the vice mayor, and it makes you think, what's going on? Very interesting. And with that, we'll take our first break. A little bit late for the break. Actually, a lot a bit late. But it was well worth it to get that flow in from Sister Iris. What do you think? Let me know. We'll take a pause and come right back. See John from Princeton's calling in. Hey, John, hold on, man. I just went into a break. So John's on hold. Oh, yeah, I know. Your favorite, right? I know. Get ready. So I've got Bloomberg Urban Report for you. Get an update on what's going on around the world, at least from the radar screen of the Ferguson, the Bloomberg Urban Report, plus a word from our sponsors for today's episode, and much more on the other side. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. We'll be right back.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. Companies are now required to give the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission detailed reports about pay, race, and gender. Intel is the first to release its figures to the public. And across manager, professional, and technical classifications, white and Asian men dominate top pay groups, and women and non-Asian people of color are clustered in the lower ranks. In other news, U.S. hiring is expected to remain strong in 2020. That's the prediction by staffing firm Manpower. And it's getting harder than ever to afford a car. The average loan amount for both new and used vehicles are at record highs. It costs over $32,000 for a new vehicle. That's up 5% from a year ago. And just over $20,000 for a used vehicle, 3% more than last year. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicide, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsey lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Yes, it is my pleasure to be with you. I woke up this morning feeling super energized, man. I'm just in a general great. I've always had a positive attitude about life, but I don't know. Things seem to be life seems to be great. You know, I'm relatively healthy. My children are healthy. My wife is healthy, and I get to deliver flows with you in the city I was born in, and it's just so exciting, the digital age that we live in. And it, again, my pleasure to be able to broadcast in this new media format. I love the digital world. Somebody asked me about the Black News Channel. They're going to kick it off in about 25 days. They decided to push things back till January 2020. It's generating a lot of excitement. And I hope that it's successful, their endeavor. And I've reached out to see if we can get some folks on to talk about it, and it looks like we will, so I'll let you know we can get that interview, or when we'll have the interview, and because I know you want to check that out. Digital is the future. All of the coolest shit is on the internet. All the best shit is on the internet. All the most cutting edge shit is on the internet. It's the truth. Good morning. And we can do it our way. The way we can curse, as if that means anything. I'm just having fun with you. I want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department is looking for, or has open registration. I've been telling you about this all week long. I'll say it again. We need good people from the Cincinnati area to become Cincinnati police officers. As we talk about a lot of these issues, a lot of this stuff, or, what individuals are choosing to do. I'll say it again. We need good individuals, good people, good black people, white people who live in the Cincinnati area from our neighborhood to become Cincinnati police officers. Because you don't have to live in Hamilton County to be a Cincinnati police officer. Did you know that? Of course you did, because you're the choppers and you smarter than a motherfucker. You already know this. But you can, for those who don't know, you have to live in one of the adjacent counties to Hamilton County if you are interested. And the Cincinnati police officer recruitment is now open. You can apply today and launch an amazing career in law enforcement with tremendous opportunity for growth and development. And you can text the Cincinnati Police Department for more information and updates to 797979 if you are interested. If not, and perhaps you know someone who may be, please share that information with them. I am going to post a link inside the Chop Shop right here so that anyone who is interested can have easy access for yourself or to share. There's an opportunity that is available right now to launch a career in law enforcement. If you're someone who has had that dream, or maybe here you are, looking for another career. Did you know that they don't have an age limit? So, you can be in your 40s. You can be in your 50s. And perhaps even older if you want to become a Cincinnati police officer. I don't know the oldest age of like the oldest recruit. I don't know. But I like it. I like that. I think we need the maturity, to be honest with you. You know, sometimes I think like 21, 22 is too young. It's too young when you're dealing with older folks in most cases. You know what I'm saying? Here you are in your 40s and you got a young officer 22. I understand the power dynamics, but there's a maturity level. So I like the fact that they have that open. But let me run through the qualifications for those who are interested. If you are interested, you must be at least 21 years of age at the time of the appointment, which is upon the completion of the 28-week training academy. You must have a high school diploma or equivalent GED. And you must be able to, or should I say eligible, to work in the United States with a driver's license, a valid driver's license. Makes sense, right? Yeah. You can fight crime in your own neighborhood. Tell me we don't need that. Tell me I'm wrong. If you want to know more about the physical agility test or the physical standards, the physical fitness test that you've got to go through, I just posted a link that has all the information. It'll break down everything you need to know so that you can put yourself in the best possible position to make your dreams come true, if in fact that is one of your goals and your dream. I'll say it again. I think law enforcement is an admirable profession. We need people with good sound, body, character, morality. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of folks to have those kind of positions, especially where I live, because I live in Cincinnati. Many of you live in Cincinnati. We need it everywhere. But if we're going to start somewhere, unfortunately, I want to start at home. I want to start at home. So please share this. If you have any questions, I've read through this so many times. I've become a mini expert on the application process. If you have questions, let me know. And if you want to hit me with a direct message, I'll answer your questions on the DM too. All right, let's get back to the flows. 513-873-7134 is my number. And we do have a call on the line. I do not want to disrespect this man by not pulling him on the airwaves. He is a longtime caller. Everybody knows his name, at least on this show and other shows. He is a prolific talk radio caller. You may hear him around the country, but I'm glad he's here with me right now. And of course, I'm talking about no other than the man from Princeton, New Jersey. And I wonder if he wants to talk about what happened in Princeton in the last couple of days. I'm talking about John. Hey, John, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivy and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. And yes, those choppers. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Why do you have to sigh like that, man? Like, these bastards. What's that all about, man?
Every time I mention the choppers, I'll leave the choppers alone. Hopefully I will wake them up. Before we get into the great interview you just had with the lady, and both of you covered so many topics.
Well, she did all the hard work. I just listened. You talking about Iris Rowley?
Yes, it was a great interview, and I think she touched base on police profiling, police harassment, and the various other things, and we'll get into that a second, with a link on my website put out by the National Academy of Science in the United States of America, a study they did on risk of being killed by police, of use of force. If you go to my website, purehistory.org, stream down, and you'll see a link that I posted of that article. We'll get into that in a second. You talked also on your broadcast show yesterday, you talked about archiving your work, and I encourage you to do that for posterity. It's very important to take control of your work and make sure, God forbid, if something happens, it is your family will keep it in the domain or possibly lease or sell off your work so people won't abuse it. And one avenue and one group you might want to talk to first, if you haven't talked to any groups yet, but the Underground Railroad Freedom Center. That's a great place to archive your works. Hopefully they will be using it and not letting it sit in storage. But that's one place to start as you sit down and negotiate with them.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think, John. You're right. My work should be down to Freedom Center. You are right. I never thought about it like that, man, but you're right. You're right.
Because of your streaming is streaming around the world, and I don't know how many number of broadcasts that you have done, but that should be kept within in control of your family, because if not, then somebody's going to realize the greatness that you have done and want to either purchase it or steal your archive, and you don't know what they're doing with it. So your domain should be controlled. You have your domain. It should be controlled, but those rebroadcasts are going to be good 50 to 100 years and beyond. You want to make sure that is in control. So because you have the Freedom Center there, they're set up for that. It makes sense for you to put something in that location as a copy, as a backup. That's something you can sit down and negotiate with them. I'm sure you'll be able to at some point. And I'm glad you brought up, I never knew about that Black News channel. I just clicked into it as you were talking to it, and I'm going to look at it very, very closely. I didn't know that they're getting ready to launch. That's very interesting. So
yeah, it is. I think it's exciting.
Yes, I think we haven't had a Black News channel. I think BET, when they were doing it, I think they had a segment of it in the 60s, 70s, I think, when they launched, before they got rid of the original programming and went to the rap music. But BET was doing it, and I think, I can't remember, it was a channel years ago that was doing something. I don't know what happened to them, or they didn't get the support or the sponsorship. But I'm glad to see that this Black News channel, I'm going to look at it closely after I hang up and see what they have, and promote my books and my film projects. And
all about yourself. I know.
Well, you have to promote yourself as much as possible. As I indicated, purehistory.org. It's very important to talk about that. Now, let's get into the segment that you just had, Iris. You guys touched base on so many areas, but one particular area, as I listened, you were talking about the profiling, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, she mentioned the police. She's going to be sitting down with the police commissioner, and he seems like he has blinders on his eyes, as she questioned him about various areas of police profiling. Well, if she's still listening, Iris, go to the National Academy of Science of the United States. They published a study, and the topic is risk of being killed by police, use of force in the United States by age, race, and ethnicity. Basically, that article or that study focuses on police shooting across the country, and they break it down. But if you don't have to go to Pure History. I posted it last night. It's on there, and I send you to the link that they did the study. But they break down the studies of how police profile and shoot African Americans and people of color. It's a very interesting article, and how I picked up on it. Choppers. I do listen to various radio stations across the country, and this brother out of Atlanta talked about it yesterday, and he was assaulted. But I said to him when I called in, we in the Black community should not be surprised about this study. We've been dealing with this since slavery. This is nothing new. I'm happy that this organization decided to put this study out. Where have they been all this time? But, okay, white people are probably going to be in denial of it. And this police commissioner, I think if what Iris was saying, he's in denial too, but she should take that study, print it out, and put it in his face and make him answer questions. This is nothing new in the Black community. So I don't know if you had a chance to read about that, or Mr. Nathan Ivy, if you knew about that, I encourage you to maybe take a closer look at that, and before the week is out, talk about that. It's a buzz across the country. Most radio stations and TV stations are not going to pick it up because they don't want to talk about it.
Well, speaking of buzz around the country, you're in Jersey. Tell us about what's going on in Jersey, man. Didn't they just have a shooting? A police officer died and people got killed?
Yeah, I picked up on the news this morning when I got up. I didn't know about that in Jersey City, which is north of me, right outside New York. And I just grabbed bits and pieces of it. I didn't follow too much because they're still under the investigation there. I think they coordinated the whole area. I believe it's a total of either 4 or 5
Six.
people killed. 6 people? Okay, I guess they must have updated it. One police officer, yes, the assailant, they wind up killing him. And the friendly fire. I mean,
Yeah, 3 civilians got killed.
I mean, crazy. I mean, as I was listening to the news, I'm like, if I had a flashback as of last week in Florida, there in Miami, not too far from where my aunt and uncle live on the Menlo Parkway. These, I don't know if you talked about that shooting in Florida and you saw the video live. And you can go to YouTube and see I think it's a 14-minute version of that thing. I mean, helicopters all over the place, and to bring people up to date to what happened in Florida. These Cretans, 3 of them, I think it was 3 of them, broke into a jewelry store and they pulled out the gun, shot the woman behind the counter in the head. Her husband came from the back. He had his guns drawn. He killed one of them. The other 2 Cretans ran out of the jewelry store, and just so happened the UPS guy happened to show up. They grabbed him, threw him in the UPS car. That's his first day on the job, 27-year-old kid. Well, it was his first day on the route. He wasn't supposed to be doing that route. He's normally in the corporate office, but he's a substitute driver, and he never does that route. I know that guy that was supposed to called out sick. I know he's feeling bad. But they threw themselves in the UPS on a 20 to 30-mile chase with all law enforcement following them up on the curb, going crazy. It was an insane chase. Little that they knew, this is 5 or 6 o'clock. People getting off work. The road was backed up. They made a bad U-turn, and caught right into traffic. The police jumps out of their cars. They're behind people in cars, and allegedly that police director, well, I'm sure this is all an investigation. The feds are involved too. They're firing over 200,000 rounds, killing, I believe it was either 3 to 4 innocent people that were in their cars minding their own business. That chase was insane. My question to you, Mr. Nathan Ivey, you risk people's lives, and I talked to my cousin, that she's a former police department down there in Florida. She said that should have never happened. Those guys, when they got caught in traffic, they should have just backed off. Those guys are going no place. Why are you firing 200 rounds with innocent people around there? That's insane. When I saw the video, that was it. I've always said Miami's like the Wild Wild West anyway. Your comments, sir.
I agree with you. I thought the same thing. In the movies, they give you a chance to, negotiate to get the hostages and all this kind of stuff, but you never know how. In the movies, like I've seen movies where when it's a situation like that, the officers don't return fire because, there's innocent people around. But in real life, it seems like if somebody shoots at them, they shoot back no matter what's going on, no matter where it is. So I thought it was tragic because those people were stuck. Here you are on the highway 1 minute. Next thing you know, boom, there's this whole situation going on and there's like live fire in the air. There's nothing they could have done. It was just their time to go, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But it was a real bad situation.
And if you see the YouTube video, several cops were hiding behind. I see two cars moving slowly, and the cops were hiding behind the car. I guess they're telling the people in the car, "Oh, move up, move up, move." I mean, they got the UPS van surrounded. They can't go no place. They fire up on the vans. Bullets are flying all over the place. I think somebody told me either 2 or 4 people, innocent people, died. Yeah, they killed the Cretans, and they killed the innocent UPS guy. And the thought, I don't know if you look at that UPS I mean, you look at the YouTube video and see the father of the boy that died. He was in so much control because he knew it's a lawsuit coming down the road, and he was very careful with his words. If you watch that YouTube video, he was the spokesperson for the family, and he was outside the house as a reporter was asking him questions. He was in control, but you can tell from his attitude, he felt the same way I felt. Why would you be shooting like that when innocent people are getting off work? Why would you be doing this? I mean, that's insane to be firing up, and this is my son's first day on that route. I mean, that was insane. He basically stopped short to saying this was murder, all-out murder. And I think my cousin told me down there in Florida, he eventually said this is murder, and they are seeking a lawyer. This is a mess. It was a complete mess, and as I was listening to you and Iris, that kind of flashed back on that. So, Iris was going in a direction where, she's not happy with your police director down in that area, and he's not answering questions, but I hope she gets that report. Or go to purehistory.org and stroll down, and you'll see a link to that scientific study that organization did talking about the police shooting. Nothing new. John has talked about the police shooting for years. I'm glad this national organization decided to publish this thing. How much media picks up on that, we don't know, but it is going across the country.
All right. Well, John, it's great to hear from you, man, and have a great day.
And don't forget to archive or sit down with the Underground Railroad Freedom Center as a start if you like what they're doing or if you don't like what they're doing. But I'm sure there are. And I believe that, and let me just say this before I let you go, there are organizations out there or companies out there that will archive your material. So you need to look into that. But I think the start is because you're local right there at the Underground Railroad Freedom Center. That's a great place to start.
All right. Thank you for the call, John. I appreciate it, man. I mean, that kind of encouragement. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to call the Freedom Center to see if they'll create an archive for my work. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. John takes so much heat. Everybody goes to John. Tracy writes, live reporting from the nursing home. I support him. He supports me. I support him. This damn fear reporter would be fired day one. She writes, learn the damn facts. Ridiculous. This is Tracy from Cincinnati. She writes, what van? Shut this man up. CG Dub writes, John's full of shit. Black Russia writes, right, like it wasn't on every channel. Right. I mean, that's what John wants to share this morning. You know what I'm saying? It's become a tradition. Let's call it this. It's become a tradition. All right. Does he really think we didn't see any of this last week? He is stating bad info. Clue Magic, what up to you, Clue? He writes, John is Mr. Obvious. Oh, man. Malcolm Excellence writes, this ain't fame, and I didn't start it. I think he told Ray, nobody's going to miss you. Bye-bye. He is so wrong for that. Ray is a founder. Come on now. She one of the originals. We will show respect. Ray said it was too toxic today. I'm sorry, Ray. It's like sharks in the water some days. Miss Tiffany writes, oh, Lord, he just gave Nathan a big compliment. Nate's about to let him stay on for 10 minutes now. Miss Tiffany knows me. She knows me. Kirmir writes, don't mention my name unless it's positive. I have no beef, but I can't. So who's in here starting beef? It's got to be Malcolm Excellence. I'm so beneath her, yet I stay on this heifer's mind. Her whole chop shop experience is trying to attack me. Never has anything remotely remarkable to say. Just wants my... What? CG Dub writes, Nate, what's your thoughts on the police male in the village of Roll Hill? The male cop looked extremely out of shape. Can you send me a link? I don't think I'm super familiar with that. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan.
Hey.
Hey, got to be brief, but listen, somebody just hit me and said that you put my name in there in the chop shop. I'm not. This is fame. I haven't posted in there.
You're not Malcolm Excellence?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That sounds like you. That sounds like something that would come straight from your brain. Malcolm Excellence.
Somebody is copying my shit, copying my style, and trying to F with y'all. I'm passively listening.
There's something about your voice that tells me BS.
Dude, I ain't got no reason to lie to you. I remember what I wanted to tell you yesterday.
Okay.
It was about Kurt Flood. I don't know if he's basically the father of free agency and all of sports, but I'll get into it at another time. I don't really have time to get into it, but like somebody just hit me and was like, "Yeah, Nathan about said this." I'm like, I'm passively listening.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? In and out of another room. So I'll holler at you though. Be safe.
All right. Take it easy, man. Appreciate it. I don't believe it. I don't believe SCT&T's in the house. What in the hell? I don't know. Does he think I really believe that? We can tell, man. Your voice. It was all in your voice. Oh my God. Just like you know me, I know you. We've been talking to each other for 3 years now. I mean, people be pulling my card. I mean, you've been listening to me long enough. You should kind of pick up on my patterns. I wasn't supposed to hide that. I mean, it is what it is. What's up, the greatest? What up with you, man? The greatest from South Central, X-Squad affiliate. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. So no love for John. I don't know why I don't know why that Fame wants us to believe that he's not Malcolm Excellence. Everybody in here knows your voice. Everybody in here knows your voice, man. It's like when your little brother try to lie, you like, man, why are you lying? I've been around you in all situations. I know when you lying. So Nathan, I just got a call from somebody. Now who would call Fame and say, you know what? They say are you Malcolm Excellence? Who was Malcolm Excellence? Oh, and they said nobody called you and said no like that. Nobody called you and say no. Nobody makes call you and say that. Nah, B. I ain't going for it. Cassandra writes, LOL Fame, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. So why would I lie? Because you want to keep up the rules. That's why. Because you're playing a role. And you play it very well, by the way. I'm not telling you to stop. CGW just sent me a link. Let me see here. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I saw that Joe Dieter said there'll be no plea agreement, no plea bargain in the situation that happened over in Roe Hill, where you had the black male and the black female, and they're being said that they assaulted these officers, which by the letter of law, it appears that's true. But it was Joe Dieter's attitude that made me feel a little something like he made it seem like nobody else is important except for police officers or something. He was like, if somebody assaults a police officer, we're not going to plea deal. I'm like, wow. If that's the case, don't do any plea deals ever for these kind of assaults across the board. I mean, all lives matter. But I get it. I understand it. And quite honestly, here in Hamilton County, there's a lot of people that appreciate that attitude from Joe Dieters. Now, you might not appreciate it. I might not appreciate it. But there's a lot of people that took a lot of comfort in that. Joe Dieters and his lock 'em up attitude, at least that's the attitude that he gives across, because he failed in the Ray Tensing trial. He failed miserably by all definitions and any rubric calculation you want to use, he failed. But he's got that appearance that, he'll get tough, throw the book at you, and people in Hamilton County like that. They're used to it. Gabe Davis and Endorf Fanon Rucker, or both of them at this point, because they're both in the race, they're going to have to combat that on some way. I'm like, if you're somebody, if you look at Joe Dieters and say, you know what, he ain't perfect. Yeah, all that stuff about the forfeiture money and yada, 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 and the way he talks to people and whatever. So what? He locks up the criminals. That's all some people care about. But back to this. How do I feel about it? I feel like it was a bad situation. I feel like it was a bad situation. And I feel like I don't know enough to say whether I think it could have been handled differently or not. And even in the video, I don't feel like I had enough information to really say. It's just a bad situation, man. When you get the law enforcement involved, depending on who shows up, we know how this is. Depending on what's going on, these situations can be very, very volatile. And I think you were making a comment about the physical fitness of it. We've talked about that before. I don't know what the standards are once you get on the force. I know what you have to do to get on the force. I know that. But I don't know what the standard is once you're on the force. I just think in all kind of jobs, not to say I'm in perfect physical shape. You want to maintain some physical fitness. If you got a kind of job where you're more physical than maybe another job, you want to make sure you're ready for all situations. Did that come into play in this situation? I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. But when you see when you see officers trying to arrest people and then those people are elbowing the officers, that's always going to lead to charges every single time. And you know that. Sorry, John, I don't read websites from non-voters. #alt-middle. That's Black Russia. He is a taxpayer, though. Black Russia writes, what the hell is John talking about? Miss Tiffany is hilarious at 9:13 a.m. this morning. I can't say she's wrong. Karamir writes, I think I read that already. We ate their lunch. How Pelosi got to yes on Trump's trade deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite interesting you put that out there, Mason Mall. Yesterday was a very interesting day looking back on the national scene. You had the articles of impeachment, like 2 articles of impeachment against Donald Trump, which I'm not waiting for that. That's not number 1 on my list to get Donald Trump impeached. I'll say it again. That's not number 1 on my list at all. If you're sick of Donald Trump and you don't like his policies, if his policies don't work for you, then let's get your friends and family members together and everybody get out and vote in 2020 and just vote your conscience. If your conscience is to vote against him, great. If it's to vote for him, I guess that's great too. But yesterday was a very, very interesting day nationally for 2 reasons, and they both have to do and surround Trump. One was he was impeached earlier in the morning, or should I say the official articles of impeachment were announced by the congressional Democrat leadership, and essentially on 2 counts. And then later in the day, the congressional Democrats teamed up to give Donald Trump essentially, the way I would look at it is they gave him a legislative win when it came to trade. Everybody knows that Donald Trump came in and he said that he was going to redo everything. And I want to make this point again. I'm not saying that Obama didn't do anything, but what I'm saying is look at what Trump has done for his base and his followers. He's taken on some of the most unpopular, unflattering things, and just through sheer force of will and single-mindedness got it done, including, diverting millions, if not tens of millions of dollars for border security, which is not going to work. The whole internment of people coming over the southern border is straight from, Stephen Miller, who's a top White House advisor. Some people say, and most recently, there was an email that was discovered and put out in public that revealed that Stephen Miller has, shall we say, white supremacist leanings, and they did it anyway. When Trump said he was going to scrap the trilateral deals and things like that, he said, we're going to deal one-on-one. Everybody said, this is ridiculous. He doesn't understand. And he just did it. And the Democrats signed off on it and essentially, like I said earlier, gave Trump a big win when it came to, renegotiating trade deals. And Trump's going to run with this. You're going to impeach him, but then you agree on these new deals. It's a new U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. And the Democrats are saying that this is like a really significant trade deal that's going to be good for American workers. Now, they said the same shit about NAFTA. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Yo, are you there? Yo. Don't know what's going on. Call me back. It's being called one of the strongest trade deals in history. But again, you know how these things are. The jury remains out until we actually see how these things are going to be implemented. So again, you'll see Donald Trump in the days and weeks to follow, and he's going to be running a victory lap about that trade deal. A legislative win given to him by his good friends, the Democrats. But let's go to the phones again. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. Technical difficulties. This is your West Side connection. Squad 52. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Could you hear me before on the prior conversation, phone call?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think there's something wrong with my little cheap headsets because I've been wearing them out.
Okay.
That could be the problem. But Mr. Ivy, I appreciate you mentioning that the Democrats finally agreed with President Trump after sitting on the USMCA, the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. She has been sitting on that for a whole year, and we all know why, because she was proceeding with her fake impeachment inquiry. So just like you said, while I was waiting on hold, it seemed kind of strange yesterday. Within 1 hour of calling the sitting president of the United States a criminal that must be removed from office because he's going to rig the next election that they think he's going to win. Then an hour later, the same desperate Democrats who stood before the American people with this fake somber look on their face, they come out an hour later cheering Nate, talking about, oh, we've secured a deal for the American people. Nate, come on, Nate. Really?
Well, the way our government works, I guess two things can be true at the same time, right? Like, this trade deal has been going on for some time, right? The negotiations, anyway, for what a year?
No, wrong, Nate. Okay. The deal was done. It was ready to be signed a year ago.
Right. And so, like I said, this trade deal's been in the work and negotiations, whether it could be the tenets of the agreement or the politics surrounding the release of it, have been going around for some time. So,
but the bottom line is, I mean, you saw the optics on that. It just didn't look good yesterday. So it was interesting take on it,
but I mean, that's the way the government works. They can think that he should be impeached while at the same time the people's business has to go forward.
But Nate, the Democrats have successfully changed the narrative around impeachment. Okay, Nate, in the history of this country, it's only been 3 that have actually went to trial. And Donald Trump being the 3rd. So prior to Donald Trump, it had only been done 2 times. And then Nixon obviously resigned before it went to a trial. So impeachment is normally not done the way the Democrats have been doing it. And it's all going to be documented, Nate. History will tell the story of the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, number 45. History will tell the story. It's going to be down the road, but the true story of his presidency will be told. Now, on top of the USMCA trade deal being sent to the Senate, and it probably won't be debated until after the fake, phony impeachment trial, you also have the United States is the number 1 producer of oil around the world, Mr. Ivy. Okay? Jobs, jobs, jobs. The lowest unemployment rate for African Americans, for Hispanics, for Asians. Jobs, jobs, jobs. All I hear about y'all talking about locally is about development going on. Now, you guys may not agree with who's getting the benefits from the development, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the point is, the development is going on under the Donald Trump presidency and the Republican Party. So, Nate, I'm just saying, going into 2020, it appears that it's getting easier and easier for Donald Trump to be reelected. I mean, it is what it is. So I hope that people are getting their financial situation together or reassessing it, because the economy is growing. It's been a year since the 2017 tax cuts that happened. But guess what? If Donald Trump is reelected, those temporary tax cuts in 2017 will become permanent. If Donald Trump loses, we all know what's going to happen with our taxes and with our income when the Democrats are in charge. So I appreciate you pointing that out, Mr. Ivey, how that optic yesterday, it just didn't look right. I mean, in 1 hour, you're saying he's the most corrupt president in history, and then an hour later, you're standing around, clapping that you did a deal with him. So I just wanted to call in and point that out, because sometimes the full story may not be told. I'm not saying that you are.
The Democrats didn't clap because they did a deal with Trump. They were clapping because they thought that the overall agreement would be good for the American worker. That's why they were clapping. But I get your overall point, man. I mean, but don't you understand that's how government works? I mean, even though you think the president needs to be impeached, he's still the president until he is impeached. So don't you think that they should still be working on trade deals and doing legislative deals and stuff like that?
He is. You just don't hear about it. The media, the mainstream media, they don't report.
I'm just saying.
The good news, man.
No. That's not the dynamic I'm talking about. I'm talking about the dynamic that you're saying. You're trying to say is very, very strange. That on one hand they would in the morning want to impeach him, and then an hour later turn around and say, "Hey, we've been working with the White House." But what I'm saying is that's not strange at all if you really think about it. Just because they think that he did something that's impeachable, man, I heard Mitch McConnell within the last 3 or 4 hours, and there's not going to be any impeachment trials or anything until after the new year. That's off the top.
I know. But see, again, we still have to wait for the vote from the full House of Representatives, okay? Right now, what happened yesterday, those articles will go to the Judiciary Committee. They will vote, and then the full House will vote. So we'll still probably next week, you'll find out if there'll be a trial. Up to this point, there is no trial yet because the articles have not been filed.
Well, there's going to I would say there's going to probably be a trial because the Democrats have a majority.
But Nate, you saw the two articles of impeachment: abuse of power,
correct,
and obstructing Congress.
Correct.
Then an hour later, you get this trade deal that Nancy Pelosi had been holding on to. Now, don't you think, Nate, that these Democrats, like the one that comes from my district, Katie Porter, and then you got the guy Connor Lamb from Pennsylvania, those Democrats aren't put on MSNBC and national TV because they're from Trump or formerly Republican-held districts that were taken in 2018. So, Nate, the fact that deal was announced an hour later tells me, my political eyes, that they had to get this thing signed in order to get the votes from those from those Democrats from GOP districts that won in 18. That's the way I see it. But the eyes cannot see what the brain does not know. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace, baby.
Oh, you can see, did he just blow a kiss? What in the fuck? Did he just blow a kiss at me? Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Who art thou in heaven? He got really into his flow. Did he just blow a kiss? I could have swore I heard the puckering of human lips. Oh my God. I'm supposed to just go ahead and do the show now, huh? Oh, boy. I guess this is what I get myself into. This man just blew a kiss. What? You going too far, Drop. You're going too far, B. I like you too. But men don't blow kisses to one another when they get off the phone. That's a female thing, or your son or something like that. Your daughter. I got a woosah. Actually, Katie Porter is on MSNBC all the time. Once again, folks, Drop is lying. Drop writes, no, I didn't blow a kiss. I could have swore I heard the puckering of human lips. Did anybody else hear that? Please tell me you did. Because that's even worse if I didn't hear it. It's even worse. Oh, my gosh. Tony writes. He writes, Niggas blowing kisses? I'm tapping out. I ain't mad at you, man. Jesse writes, LOL, I heard it, Nathan. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. You have no idea. Because if I had heard that in my own head, which doesn't really happen, that would have been far worse in public. Mason Marler writes, that wasn't a kiss, Nate. That wasn't a kiss, Nate. That was Drop snapping his magathon. Why? I don't know which is worse. I mean, would it be worse to Drop just blew me a kiss when he got off the air? Or that he was snapping his magathon? I think it's hard to choose. It's just hard to choose. They both worse. Oh, my God. Cassandra writes, you can't even rack his call now because it seems suspect. Exactly. I can't even rack his call now. Why? What? Oh, dear Lord. Cam writes, you got good headphones, Nate. You heard it right. I know I heard it right. And then Drop tried to come in here and lie to me. I didn't blow you no kiss. Just say you blew me a kiss, bro. That means he really likes me. That's how I take it. I take it heterosexually. You know what I'm saying? Like a son or something like that, or your brother. I don't blow my brother kisses, but I mean, I ain't got no problem showing my kin folks love. So that's how I take it. I take it heterosexually. Like, see, Drop's just very comfortable. We've been talking for years now, man. Y'all talk to y'all more than I do my family members. That's real talk. I mean, I talk to Drop more than I talk to people in my family. I read more of your tweets. We talk and converse back and forth than I do with people in my own family because we do it every day for the folks who are here on a regular basis. So, I mean, I understand we friendly. I'm a friendly person. So I take it heterosexually. That's how I take it. Like, brother, little brother kind of thing. Oh, man, because now they calling you Drop All X. Drop Yoba. You are wrong for that. You are wrong, man. You are wrong. Drop Yoba. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, man. See what happens when black men show love for one another? He was just trying to show me some love. Now, I know my first reaction was a little bit, wait a minute, like, this is odd. What's going on here? And that's just me and my own, being a man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think we should go so far as to bring Malik Yoba into this. I think that's a bridge too far. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We're on 45th Street in Broadway. I got shot 5 blocks from here at the age of 15, right? So a quarter of an inch over, I would have been paralyzed from the neck down. A half inch over, I'd be dead. So since January 18th, 1983, I've never taken a second for granted to be alive. I'm very, I can't even count how many people are no longer here that I grew up with, that I've known. That number's, I don't even know how many it is, right? And so life is precious, and each moment is precious. And so,
life is precious. That's Malik Yoba. Each moment is precious. Some Malik Yoba. TNT writes, you can't even clean it up, Nate. A blow kiss is weird. Cam writes, Billy Drop Williams. I'm sorry, Billy D. Rop Williams, but it spells drop. Drop writes, it's the economy, stupid, not about blowing kisses. I mean, see the show's taking a whole weird turn. I'm not embarrassed by it either. TNT writes, he's a married man. Drop, control yourself. Juicy Drop Smollett. Oh, man. This is Drop Alt X. That's hilarious. You got good headphones. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I still, I protect my ears. Like, if you ever see me out at events in a club, if you look at my ears, typically I've got like some ear like protectors. Just years and years and years of radio, man, and having headphones on can damage your hearing. So, man, I don't have them on today, but I mean, there's many times when I don't have the headphones on, or if I have them on, I've got some kind of protection. It's just some stuff you put in your ear that protects your ear and your hearing, because you lose your hearing and you can't hear anymore. And I like hearing. So my ears are actually very good, Very good. Yeah, I wish I didn't hear it. I wish I could unhear it, but it is what it is. Drop that kiss gonna haunt you for at least 3 months into the new year. Oh, man. Clue Magic writes, Drop is blowing kisses on his way out of the closet. Mason Marler writes, who knew Drop was a log cabin Republican? Y'all are wrong. I'm not here for none of that. None of it.
That I love and appreciate and consider part of my humanity.
Okay.
And I can tell you what it feels like.
I understand. So moving forward with this, to kind of fill out the rest of these questions before we move forward. Since this allegation, too, if you search your name on social media, some sex workers have come forward saying that you've long solicited sex from trans women, and because of this, you've been criticizing for fetishizing trans women and not having intimate and loving relationships with them. So what would you say to that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we've gone on
this
social media and we found
when people say he blew a kiss to me.
Said this, and so
social media now is the truth. That's the
people
repository.
Have faces, their faces on it. So we were just asking if you had anything to say about that. Okay, so going on to, what do you say to trans black women who say that you're centering yourself and that you're being opportunistic and focusing on your attraction as opposed to their issues, and without proving that you're ready to do the work? So what would you say to that?
So you and I sat for 4 hours the other day.
Correct.
And we decided how we were going to approach this.
I love this part.
We decided how we were going to approach this, bro.
We went through a number of questions. We
decided how we were going to approach this.
And we said recording, and the more you talk, the better, the worse it looks for you. So what I'm asking is that we're having a conversation.
What did you say?
I said the more that we're talking, the more I'm just concerned. So I'm generally concerned. I said that the more that it looks bad for you. That's
really?
What I'm saying. Yes, sir.
This looks bad for me.
Yes, because I'm asking you a number of questions.
We're done, bro.
Okay.
We're done. It looks bad for me because I chose to come here and speak to you about what you do and what I've done. It looks bad for me. It's a setup. I don't like this.
Okay.
We said that we were going to focus on policy.
And we did, and we also
said, allegations,
and we also said,
this at all.
And no, we had a conversation about a wide range of things.
Shit at all, homie.
Questions did feel like they were not.
I don't. This is not. We fucking discussed for 4 fucking hours. You understand allegations, homie?
Okay.
The fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know who that guy is, man, but he gets my award, man. I'll rock with that brother. He just sat there too. He must be with the Root or something. That's a classic interaction with Malik Yoba. That was hilarious. I like Malik Yoba too, because he was like, man, he looked him right in his eyes and said, I got a problem with it. Took his little lavalier mic off and walked off. So I'm out of here, bro. That's Drop when people say he blew a kiss to me. This day will never be forgotten. So let it be forever put into the archives of the Nathan Ivey Show. CG Dub writes, Drop, you're a good sport. Drop's a good sport, man. He's a radio veteran. He knows he's having some fun, and he knew he blew me a kiss. It's no big deal. Like I said, I genuinely believe it was just a friendly kind of thing. I genuinely believe that. I ain't trying to clean it up. I don't feel no kind of way, and neither should he. We talk a lot. I talk to Drop more. I got two brothers. I talk to one brother more than the other. I talk to Drop more than I do my youngest brother. I talk to him almost every day. So I get it. Somebody writes, Old Town Drop. Drop's a good sport. He writes, Nate set me up. I set you up. That is hilarious, man. How the hell did I do that? How did I set you up? That is hilarious. Clearly, we need to go over 10 a.m. this morning. So let me take a quick break and we'll come right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. And we'll be right back.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. Companies are now required to give the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission detailed reports about pay, race, and gender. Intel is the first to release its figures to the public. And across manager, professional, and technical classifications, white and Asian men dominate top pay groups, and women and non-Asian people of color are clustered in the lower ranks. In other news, U.S. hiring is expected to remain strong in 2020. That's the prediction by staffing firm Manpower. And it's getting harder than ever to afford a car. The average loan amount for both new and used vehicles are at record highs. It costs over $32,000 for a new vehicle. That's up 5% from a year ago. And just over $20,000 for a used vehicle, 3% more than last year. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicide, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney for my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Currently 10:02 a.m. in the Queen City, and we are close to 2 hours in. Close to 2 hours in, and a lot to talk about, so let's get back into it. How many people went to Ohio King games, the first Ohio King game this past Saturday? How was it? I know they splattered the competition. And, of course, this is the first season ABA team. I think it's exciting. I think it just adds to the overall entertainment, options that you have here in Cincinnati. Overall. So now in Cincinnati, you can get pretty much any kind of sport you're into. We've got it, major or minor. Major or minor. Ohio Kings. If you went, please let me know. I'd like to know what was like. Let me know. People in here still laughing at Drop. Drop blew me a kiss earlier. Tomorrow I set him up. Oh, my God. And then hilarity ensued. Sharp writes classic flows. I agree. Trying to blame me for blowing me a kiss. Pardon me. The whole house is under the weather. The whole house is under the weather. I'm sorry. My son brought it home. You know how it is. He's 4 years old. Those kids in there don't know anything. They all got snotty nose. They're all using the same play utensils and toys in this little daycare classroom. But it comes with the territory. He was sneezing right in my plate. I think I shared that with you. When you have a 4-year-old, you have to accept that they're going to sneeze right into your food. You don't get to eat your food. You think you get to eat your food? Oh, my God, it's going to... No, hell no. You don't get to do that. You'd be lucky if your 4-year-old don't just reach into your plate and take your potato off. Like, son, that's my potato. My son thinks that everything that's mine is his, which is very cute. He wants to wear my shoes. Talking about some look daddy. Those are the moments. Don't drop the soap. Cam is on fire this morning. Let's recognize true social media genius when you see it. I'm going to give you another reason that I know that fame is actually black excellence. Because ever since I said that, black excellence has not been in the chop shop. Cam writes, Drop wins Gilligan of the Year. Hashtag drop kiss. I couldn't stop this if I wanted to, which I do not. The game was good, Nate. Fast paced, lots of scoring. Okay, great. Great to hear. Drop Pride Parade. Y'all is just queer eye for the drop guy. Liberace drop. Liberace drop. This day shall go down in history. I agree. Classic flows from the choppers this morning. Sometimes it be like that. Some days it be like that on the show. I mean, I can't control this. What you want me to do? Could not control this one bit. I don't know what I just did, and I don't think I like it. Oh, okay, I didn't grab them all. Okay, I see that. I don't know, man. My computer just does what it wants to do sometime. Yeah. So that tells me the drop really likes me. And that's cool. I'm glad. I like you too, Drop. Cincy Tigers writes, oh, man, gee, what did I walk back into? You missed it. It was a classic Nathan Ivey Show moment. Provided by Drop. I don't have any control over this. I can't control the choppers like that. I never said I could control the choppers. I didn't say that. I just said we can come in here and we can chop it up. You know, folks are like, you know, Flows, Talk Radio. I'm in Cincinnati. If that's you, cool. Where are we here? I'm inside. The backlash against Lizzo is more than just a thong. Y'all got Lizzo so crazy that she actually went on YouTube and like did a video or something where she was responding to all the hate she got because she was twerking. And I saw the video. I saw the image again. I haven't seen the video since I first saw it, but I saw an image of her bent over and you can see her thong. People trying to make it. I don't see what the problem is. I mean, it's 2019. And people are trying to attack her because of her body size as if everybody else is perfect. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, if that's what she got to do, she's single, I guess. You know, if you listen to her songs, that fits her personality, then do you, boo. Then do. People just hitting on, just jealous. That's all that is. They just jealous because she was smart enough to steal from somebody that they never got a chance to steal from first. That's all. They got this woman on. You know, here she is right here. It's Lizzo. Hey, Lizzo.
Who I am and the essence of me and the things that I choose to do as a grown-ass woman.
I was just going to ask you that.
Can inspire you to do the same. You don't have to be like me. You need to be like you. And never, ever let somebody stop you or shame you from being yourself. Like, this is who I've always been. Now everyone's looking at it. And your criticism can just remain your criticism. Your criticism has no effect on me.
Hey, Lizzo.
Negative criticism has no
Hey, Lizzo.
Stake in my life.
Hey, Lizzo.
No control over my life, over my emotions.
Can I ask a question?
I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm surrounded by love. And
I just can't get a word edge. Why?
I just want to spread that love and also spread these cheeks. And you know, if you really, really don't like my ass.
Now, earlier in the show, we had a little moment where I had to ask you as to whether I actually heard something. And so I'm going to ask you to do that again right now. Did she just say what I think she just said? Did she just say what I think she just said? Hold up. Let's run that back, DJ.
Criticism
roll it.
Has no stake in my life, no control over my life, over my emotions. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm surrounded by love. And I just want to spread that love and also spread these cheeks. And you know, if you really, really don't like my ass, you can kiss it.
I guess I did hear what I heard. 513-873. Somebody writes 2 snaps and a twist. 2 snaps and a twist. That's stereotypical. It's racist. What the? Jesse writes, you heard it right. Just like Drop's kiss. And you should see the video. She's smiling the entire time in the video. And, I mean, that's where we are in America. This is progress. This is progress. Iris writes, you heard it, we all did. Yes, I know. This is progress. This is progress. I mean, women got the right to do what they gonna do, whatever that might be. Again, I don't think it's a big deal. You got Laker girls out there that's doing the same thing. She was probably twerking along with the Laker girls. People trying to make it a big deal because I don't know why they're making it a big deal, really. I don't see a problem with it. I really don't. Now, do I listen to Lizzo's music? No. She got that one song. It's got a nice little beat. I don't like the hook. You know, it puts out a question here that who the hell asked this question? Why men great until they got to be great? Well, damn it. Why are women great until they got to be great? You know, I know that song. Other than that, I don't really know any of her songs, but I support artists. And y'all got this woman on Instagram saying all kind of crazy stuff.
It makes it go away, I promise.
Was that drop again? I had to. I couldn't resist. TNT writes, twerk, 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 it don't bother me. Sharp writes, speechless. Karamia writes, it does bother Lizzo. Why mention it? Drop writes, oh no, she didn't. Mason Muller writes, I dance something for a drop zo. Y'all are so wrong. Why do I even introduce that song to you? Why do I even introduce you to that song, Mason Muller? Choppers. I knew I was going to hell when I did that. Let's listen to it. This is more interesting than impeachment to me. Lizzo.
I just want y'all to know, like, it doesn't matter what goes on the internet. Like,
actually, it does matter.
Nothing really breaks my joy. I'm a really solid, grounded person, and I know that.
Tell them you're rich.
I'm shocking because you've never seen in a long time a body like mine doing whatever it wants to do and dressing the way that it dresses and moving the way that it moves.
She might be dropping knowledge.
But I don't ever want to censor myself because I'm suddenly famous, or I don't want to censor myself because everyone's looking at me now. I'm not going to quiet myself. I'm not going to shrink myself.
I like that. Don't quiet yourself, baby.
Somebody thinks that
you ain't got to do that for
I'm
them,
not sexy to them. Did you really think?
Because she got a man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Think that I'm not cute. I'm going to stop existing.
Tell them you're rich.
So, you know, I don't really like to address negativity, but I'm having such a great day and good as hell with the Human Jukebox, and the Fabulous Dancing Dolls is out, and this is like my morning hair and my...
Okay, I'm bored. Let's move on. 513. She was butt naked in public. 513-873. I'm bored. We have to move on. Adult ADHD. Nate, a.k.a. the hype man. I don't know what that means, CG Dub. I don't. You know. Thick people are sexy too. I like thick. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, the point she was making when she said about you're not used to seeing a body do what mine does, and, you know, maybe she's right about that. I mean, maybe she's right about that. I think she may have a point there, quite honestly. The more I think about it, I could fast. And I say that because I'm thinking, could I make an argument based off what she just said? I think I can make an argument that she's right from her perspective. Because, you know, if you don't look a certain way, this culture wants to tell women to lock it up, throw it away, and don't reveal it and all this kind of stuff. If you don't fit some kind of body type. Fame called in yesterday, or Malcolm Excellence called in yesterday, and was making some of the same points that she was arguing against. Like, because somebody else tells you that your body doesn't look the way they think it should be, then you shouldn't wear certain things. You shouldn't go to certain things. F all that. If that encourages women who identify with what Lizzo said, I think that's positive. Like I said, I have no problem with Lizzo. I think she's interesting. Lizzo is approaching Kanye West irritating. I mean, the rest of the video was for her hardcore fans, not for us. Not for me anyway. I just couldn't take it anymore. I heard it. I got it. I had nothing wrong. Everybody's making a big deal because she wore a thong. So what? It's no big deal. I don't want to hear nothing about young boys sagging their pants if it's okay for her to walk around with her ass out. She wasn't walking around. She was at the Lakers game, which is a show unto itself, right? And she was twerking along around with the dancers, and apparently she had on a thong. And the point she's trying to make is that women who have body types that don't conform to a certain mainstream view of it have been told that you ain't supposed to wear no thongs. You ain't supposed to be showing that off. You should be ashamed of yourself. And she's saying that she ain't. I think that's positive. I think that's very positive. You know? Drop writes, Kelly Price said her body size destroyed her commercial career, ? I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that. I'm just saying, I mean, she got a right to be sexy in the way for herself. Maybe she think it's sexy. That's okay. I see plenty of dudes out here dressing like bums. They're dressed like a bum out here, but you think you fly. Saying the same thing. It's no difference. It's no difference. Or is it? 513-873-7134. Oh my God. The Republicans are talking about the FISA abuse allegations, and oh my God, they have completely adopted, the Republican Party has been completely adopted by the Trump mentality. Can't be saved. On Monday, CFT, that's the Cincinnati Federation of Teachers president, Julie Sellers, delivered remarks to City Council asking for a full audit and analysis of the impact of TIFs on our schools. Yeah. Did you know that? And it got me curious. I'm curious, what is the effect? You're telling me they haven't already done the analysis? I mean, shouldn't you do the analysis before you put the policy in place, or at some point? I just can't believe the analysis hasn't already been done. That kind of floored me a little bit. Is that right? Are you paying attention to what's going on with the TIF districts, how they fund or don't fund properly the schools, how it impacts our schools? Again, I see this coming from Michelle Dillingham more than anybody else, so props to her on that. Somebody said she was dangerous. Really? To who? To the people that don't want to do an analysis to TIF districts? I don't know. See, please tell them, girl, no one is tripping on Prince's butt cheeks, but drop, or Madonna's butt cheeks. What? Why she say but drop? What? What? Or Madonna's butt cheeks, Cher, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, etc. People has a heart attack because a voluptuous plus-size girl decided to bounce that booty, and now we are offended. Please. What she just said, I think she's right. People all up here mad at the wrong damn thing. Number one, I mean, at the end of the day, how much does this really matter? It don't. It's a cultural conversation, but really outside the life of Lizzo, it really don't matter. It's something for us to talk about. Okay. But only because there are some things that could be, significant or relevant. And that is that you should define what sexy is. And don't let this culture or social media or anybody else make you hate yourself because they say that you're not perfect. Or they say that you're not beautiful. F that. Here's some news you possibly can use, and this is a follow-up to a story, and I'm not saying this is recent news as of today, but this will come up. 3 people have been indicted in the Dallas murder of Joshua Brown. That was the witness in the Botham Jean case. Remember how he died suspiciously, a week or two after the end of the Amber Geiger trial? And then within a weekend, it happened on within 3 or 4 days, they already had the whole scenario and everything. And they say it was a drug deal that was gone bad. Jaquarius Mitchell, Michael Diaz Mitchell, and Thaddeus Green indicted on capital murder charges in the shooting of Brown. People were saying this was some kind of operation or something like that, like the Dallas police was out to get him. And I'm like, I guess all things are possible, but it just didn't make any sense. Why would somebody do that after Amber Geiger's already been convicted? Is she that really important? Remember when I asked that question? Is she really that important? People gonna put out hits on witnesses? I couldn't see it. But because of the timing and everything, it just seemed like it was pretty suspicious, which I agree. It seemed pretty suspicious, but, It looks like there was enough to get an indictment, which, what does that really mean in a new America? When you have people who at least once a month, there's a national news story of someone who's was on death row or has spent 10, 15, 20 years to life, and now they've been exonerated because of updated information, intel, and forensics and all that kind of stuff. Happens all the time. And these people were indicted. You know what I'm saying? It's been said, the prosecutor gets in there, he can indict a ham sandwich if he wants to. And it appears that is true. So I don't know any details about the case. Remember, Joshua Brown was gunned down outside his apartment in Dallas, where he had moved after Botham Jean's murder. And it came it was like the same week. It was days after he testified in the trial in the Amber Geiger case. And that was the white female police officer who was off duty, but still in uniform when she shot Botham Jean, who was in his apartment smoking marijuana and eating ice cream and probably playing video games or watching something on Netflix or some other streaming service. So, does that satisfy you there? Are you satisfied, all you conspiracy theorists out there? You satisfied with that? Council wants 15 more TIF districts. They're voting next Wednesday. Sharp is correct. That's right. That's why it's such a timely conversation. Yeah. And I ran through the list of the new TIF districts. Some of those are going to be on the west side of town. And my question was, what does that really mean? People, I don't know if people, when they say TIF district, do they have the impression that that's good or bad for business? Is that good or bad for gentrification? Is that good or bad for opportunities for, people of color, black people? What does that mean exactly? So she's been doing, Michelle and her group have been doing the work of trying to get the information out there. So we will see. The culture will never embrace a plus size female pop star. That's not true. That's not true at all. Tanika writes, as a BBW, it's all about how you feel about yourself. I agree 100%. 100%. I feel like I could blather on, but I don't want to water down today's flows. I think we've had an excellent conversation, and I want to leave you with a good impression. But I also want to leave you with an opportunity. This is a job alert opportunity. I want to say it again, that if you know anyone who is interested in a career in law enforcement, the Cincinnati Police Department has an open registration. And you have an opportunity to apply, to apply today and launch what can be an amazing career in law enforcement with tremendous opportunity for growth and development. If you are interested, you can text the Cincinnati Police Department to 797979 for more information and updates. If you're interested, you must be at least 21 years of age at the time of the completion of the 28-week training academy. If you're interested about what happens at the training academy in terms of some of the tests and the physical, aptitude tests that you're going to have to successfully pass, then follow the link that I just put inside of the Chop Shop, and it'll take you to the website where you can get a lot of information. Matter of fact, here's another link. This will take you directly to the city's website where you can apply directly. I'll say this again before we leave, and I believe this to the core of my being. We need good people, good black people, people that live in the city of Cincinnati to go into law enforcement to help police our own neighborhoods. That is what I have sincerely believed for a long time, and I believe that today. And I think that a career in law enforcement is very admirable. I think it's about the people that do the job, right? And the other way I look at it is this, and I'll be frank with you. Let me put the music down. I'll be frank with you. Someone is going to do the job. Someone is going to be at the next police academy. Multiple someones. And I would sincerely like some of those someones to look like us and to come from Cincinnati area. I think that's key. I think that when you have a law enforcement official who lives in that particular city or neighborhood, I just feel like you're going to bring a different approach to it. That is just me. An approach that'll be great for the citizens. So please share this information. Please share this information wherever online or whoever you think it might be best shared with. And we need some good folks to be on the police force. Let me see here. Well, there was a question about veterans. A qualified veteran who passes the entrance exam upon presentation of an official document stating an honorable discharge shall receive an additional credit of 5 points. So the minimum age to be a Cincinnati police officer is 21 years of age. The maximum, I don't believe there is a limit. So perhaps maybe you started in the career military, for which, as I understand it, they are looking for folks with military experience in social media. They're looking for recruits that have bachelor degrees, college credits, college education, so they can have a very diverse force. Again, I shared the link with you inside the Chop Shop, and there's several links inside of the Friends page and also on my page as well that you can check out at your leisure. Please like and share with whoever you think it might be best suited for. I'm sure you may have somebody in your family who has either started the path and or talked about a career in law enforcement. This could be their opportunity. All right, let me see residual flows here before we roll out of here, because it's been quite interesting today. We learned a lot about at least one of the choppers today. And I'm talking about Brother Drop. I will not refer to you as Liberace Drop. But I guess I just did, didn't I? Drop writes, good show, Mr. Ivy and the Crazy Choppers. After my call, yes. Appreciate it. Lizzo's stage show is very low energy because of her size. Pop stars have to have high energy. Is that right? Mason Marler writes, great show, Nate. Mwah. Yes, Drop did reveal a bit today. But let's keep in mind the phone calls that we got from Iris Rowley, who gave us some insight, some of the things that we should be looking for as it relates to the data that was tabulated, or that's being, tabulated right now, actually, as it relates to who's getting citations for marijuana. Okay, if this isn't a profiling situation, then, okay, how do you explain what appears to be bias? Okay, just in the stats. I just think from a scientific standpoint, we would want to know, okay, why so many citations for African Americans? So I think that's something to think about today. And I'll keep my eyes on whatever's going on. Also, coming up, not this Friday, but next Friday, Donnie B is going to be talking with the author of, and you've heard me talk about this, and she talked about it in her last show, but there's a brand new, I guess it's like a film, and also it's a book called The Trayvon Martin Hoax. And the author of that book, his name is Joe Gilbert, white male he appears to be. I've never got a chance to actually meet him, but he's going to talk with Donnie B about his theories about the Trayvon Martin case. He's going to talk with Donnie B about his film, and that's coming up not this Friday, but next Friday on the 20th. So I want to give you a heads up on that. Check out the Cutting Through the BS podcast later on today, 7 p.m. Clue Magic and his wonderful, I won't say sidekick, but co-host. Okay, you already know, Fast Pitch, cutting through the BS in their own particular style and way. And you can check out that show. It's a podcast, so you can check out the audio stream, but you can also watch it on the Sin Digital Media Facebook page, but also the Cutting Through the BS podcast page as well. So you can either or. If you want to connect with them directly, you can check them out and subscribe to their page and their group. And you can connect with them directly, which I encourage you to do so. What else is coming up? Thursday, NAACP Truth to Power live stream. Okay, look forward to that. TNT and Joe will be back talking about everything on the radar screen of the Cincinnati Police Department. The Cincinnati area. And, that's a lot of the Cincinnati stuff that's going on their radar screen. So look for them on that. That'll be Thursday. And, of course, I'll be back with you tomorrow. Of course, that's tomorrow. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m., and we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up on everything that's going on. So have an excellent day, choppers. And we'll talk real soon. I'm out.